Imagine walking into a room and instantly feeling at ease, knowing you can connect with anyone there. Some people seem to have this gift naturally. They light up conversations, build trust effortlessly, and leave others feeling valued. But what if this isn't just a talent? What if it's a skill you can learn and master? That's what this video is about, unlocking the secrets to creating meaningful relationships and wielding influence without manipulation. These ideas draw from timeless wisdom about human nature, refined into practical steps you can use today. Whether you're navigating a workplace, strengthening friendships, or leading a team, these principles will help you foster deeper connections and inspire others to see things your way. Chapter 1. The Power of Emotional Intelligence. Let's start with a truth. People aren't robots. They're driven by emotions. Pride, a need for respect, a desire to feel significant. Understanding this is the foundation of connecting with others. Too often, we focus on what we want to say or achieve, forgetting that the person across from us has their own hopes and fears. By shifting our focus to them, we open doors to trust and cooperation. This isn't about tricks or shortcuts. It's about treating people with genuine care and seeing the world through their eyes. In this first part, we'll explore why emotional intelligence matters more than raw intellect in relationships and lay the groundwork for how to approach every interaction with empathy. Emotional intelligence starts with recognizing that everyone craves validation. Think about the last time someone truly listened to you or acknowledged your efforts. It felt good, didn't it? That's because humans are wired to seek importance. When we ignore this, we risk alienating others. For example, scolding someone for a mistake might feel justified, but it often backfires, making them defensive rather than reflective. Instead, imagine pausing to consider why they acted that way. Maybe they were stressed or misunderstood the task. This mindset shift sets the stage for connection rather than conflict. It's not about being soft, it's about being smart. Now, let's talk about criticism, because it's a trap we all fall into. Pointing out flaws is easy, but it's like throwing sand in the gears of a relationship. It grinds things to a halt. When you tell someone they've messed up, their instinct is to protect their ego, not to fix the problem. Picture a coworker who missed a deadline. Yelling at them might vent your frustration, but it won't make them work faster next time. Instead, it could breed resentment, slowing them down even more. The alternative? Approach with curiosity. Ask what happened and offer support. This builds trust, not walls. Over time, you'll notice people respond better when they feel understood rather than judged. Empathy is your secret weapon here. It's not about agreeing with everyone. It's about seeing where they're coming from. Let's say a friend snaps at you out of the blue. Your first urge might be to snap back. But what if they're dealing with a tough day? Taking a moment to consider their perspective can turn a potential argument into a chance to deepen your bond. This principle applies everywhere, with family, colleagues, even strangers. By starting with empathy, you create a space where people feel safe to open up, and that's where real influence begins. Another key idea is appreciation. Everyone wants to feel valued, from the barista making your coffee to the CEO running your company. A simple acknowledgement can work wonders. For instance, thanking a teammate for staying late to finish a project doesn't just make them feel good, it makes them want to collaborate with you again. But this has to be genuine. Hollow compliments are like counterfeit money. They might fool someone briefly, but they'll catch on and you'll lose credibility. Sincere praise, tied to something specific, sticks with people and builds loyalty. Names are another powerful tool. A person's name is more than a label. It's a piece of their identity. Remembering and using it shows you care enough to pay attention. Think about how it feels when someone recalls your name after meeting you once. It's a small gesture that carries big weight. If you struggle with this, try repeating the name during your first conversation or associating it with something memorable about the person. Over time, this habit becomes second nature, and it's a shortcut to making people feel seen. Listening is the glue that holds these ideas together. Most of us are so focused on what we want to say that we forget to hear what others are saying. But when you give someone your full attention, without checking your phone or planning your response, they notice. It's like giving them a gift. Ask questions about their interests, their challenges, their dreams. Not only will they enjoy talking to you, but you'll learn things that help you connect on a deeper level. For example, discovering a colleague loves hiking could lead to a conversation that strengthens your work relationship. This approach flips the script on influence. Instead of pushing your agenda, you're pulling people toward you by showing you value them. It's like fishing. You don't catch fish by throwing bread at them. You use bait they can't resist. In human terms, that bait is respect, curiosity, and kindness. When you make others feel important, they're more likely to listen to your ideas and support your goals. This isn't about being selfless to a fault. It's about recognizing that helping others helps you too. As we move forward, we'll dive into specific strategies to make people like you, persuade without arguing, and lead with respect. But it all starts here, with the understanding that every interaction is a chance to build or break a connection. Choose to build. Focus on the other person's needs, and you'll be amazed at how doors open. Doors to friendships, opportunities, and influence you never thought possible. By the end of this video, you'll have a toolbox of practical ideas to transform how you relate to others. For now, let's pause and reflect. The next time you're tempted to criticize or rush through a conversation, try slowing down. Notice how the other person responds when you show them you care. It's a small step that can lead to big changes. Chapter 2. Making people like you. Building genuine connections isn't about being the loudest or most charismatic person in the room. It's about creating moments where others feel valued and understood. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel good about themselves, and that's a skill anyone can develop. In this part, we'll explore practical ways to make others like you, not through flattery or pretense, but by tapping into what matters most to them. These strategies are simple, but they require intention and practice. When done right, they turn casual interactions into lasting bonds. Let's begin with curiosity. Everyone has a story, and most people are eager to share it if given the chance. Showing genuine interest in someone's life is like opening a door to their trust. Instead of talking about yourself, ask questions that invite them to share. For example, if you meet someone new at a social event, try asking, "What's something you've been excited about lately?" Then listen. Really listen. Don't just nod while planning your next comment. People can tell when you're engaged, and it makes them feel special. This approach works everywhere, with coworkers, neighbors, or even family members you thought you knew well. Curiosity isn't just about asking questions, it's about caring about the answers. Let's say a colleague mentions they're training for a marathon. Follow up later by asking how their training is going. That small gesture shows you were paying attention, and it deepens your connection. Over time, these moments add up, turning acquaintances into allies. The key is sincerity. Don't fake interest to get something in return. People sense when you're authentic, and that's what makes them want to be around you. Another powerful tool is your smile. It sounds basic, but a warm, genuine smile can shift the mood of any interaction. It's like a universal signal of friendliness, telling others you're approachable and glad to see them. Think about how you feel when someone greets you with a grin versus a blank stare. A smile invites connection. Even in tough moments, like a tense work meeting, a subtle smile can ease the atmosphere and make others more receptive to you. The best part? Smiling doesn't just affect others, it lifts your own mood, creating a positive feedback loop. Now, let's talk about names again, because they're worth revisiting. Using someone's name in conversation is like pressing a button that says, "You matter." It's a small act that carries big impact. For instance, when you thank a cashier by saying, "Thanks, Maria," instead of just "thanks," you acknowledge their individuality. If remembering names is hard for you, try a trick. When you meet someone, repeat their name a few times in your head or use it right away in the conversation. Over time, this becomes a habit that sets you apart as someone who cares. Listening ties all of this together. Most people are so focused on being heard that they forget to hear others. But when you give someone your undivided attention, you're giving them something rare and valuable. Picture a friend venting about a tough day. Instead of jumping in with advice or your own story, let them talk. Ask follow-up questions like, "That sounds rough. What happened next?" This shows you're invested in their experience. Even in professional settings, listening can work magic. A manager who listens to their team's ideas before sharing their own builds loyalty and respect. One way to supercharge your listening is to focus on what interests the other person. Everyone has something they're passionate about, whether it's their job, a hobby, or their kids. Find that spark and let them shine. For example, if a coworker loves gardening, ask about their favorite plants or tips for beginners. You don't need to know anything about the topic, just show you're curious. They'll walk away feeling great about the conversation and, by extension, about you. This isn't about manipulating people. It's about recognizing that everyone has something worth sharing. Compliments are another way to make people feel valued, but they have to be thoughtful. Generic praise like "you're awesome" can feel empty. Instead, point out something specific. If a friend gave a great presentation, say, "I was impressed by how clearly you explained those complex ideas." This shows you were paying attention and reinforces their strengths. Be careful not to overdo it. Too many compliments can seem forced. Aim for 1 or 2 sincere remarks that hit the mark. Enthusiasm is contagious, so bring it to your interactions. When you greet someone with energy, it's like flipping a switch that brightens the moment. Think about how a dog wags its tail when you come home. It's pure excitement, and it's hard not to feel warmed by it. You don't need to bounce off the walls, but a lively, "great to see you" can set a positive tone. This works especially well in group settings, where your enthusiasm can draw others in and make them feel included. One pitfall to avoid is dominating the conversation. It's tempting to share your own experiences, especially when you relate to what someone's saying. But if you steer the focus back to yourself too often, you risk making them feel sidelined. Instead, keep the spotlight on them. If they ask about you, share briefly, then pivot back with a question. This balance shows you're engaged without taking over. Over time, people will see you as a great conversationalist, not because you're witty, but because you make them feel heard. Another way to connect is by remembering small details. If a coworker mentioned their kid's soccer game last week, ask how it went when you see them next. These follow-ups show you care about their life beyond the moment. It's like planting seeds that grow into stronger relationships. You don't need a perfect memory. Just jot down a note after a conversation if it helps. These gestures make people feel like they're more than a passing interaction. Let's not forget the power of kindness in small acts. Holding the door, offering a quick "you've got this" before a big meeting, or sending a thank you note can leave a lasting impression. These moments don't require much effort, but they signal that you see the other person as human, not just a means to an end. Kindness builds goodwill, and people are more likely to like and trust someone who treats them with respect. A final thought for this part: making people like you isn't about changing who you are. It's about amplifying the best parts of yourself, your curiosity, your warmth, your ability to listen. You don't need to be perfect or polished. What matters is showing up with the intention to make others feel good. When you do, you create a ripple effect. People enjoy your company, they're more open to your ideas, and they're eager to support you in return. It's a win-win that starts with small, deliberate choices. As we move forward, we'll explore how to persuade others without sparking conflict, turning disagreements into opportunities for collaboration. For now, try this. In your next conversation, focus on asking one thoughtful question and really listening to the answer. Notice how the other person responds. It's a simple step that can transform how you connect. Chapter 3: Persuading. Without conflict, influence is often misunderstood as pushing your ideas onto others, but true persuasion is about guiding people to see your perspective willingly. It's not about winning arguments or proving you're right. It's about creating alignment where everyone feels respected. In this part, we'll unpack how to win people over to your way of thinking without sparking resentment or defensiveness. These strategies are rooted in understanding human nature and using empathy to bridge gaps, whether you're negotiating at work, resolving a family disagreement, or convincing a friend to try something new. The first principle is simple but counterintuitive. Avoid arguments at all costs. When you argue, you challenge someone's ego, and that's a recipe for resistance. Even if you win by out-talking them, you lose their goodwill, which is far more valuable. Picture a heated debate with a coworker over a project decision. You might score points by proving your plan is better, but they'll likely dig in deeper, feeling attacked rather than persuaded. Instead, try welcoming their perspective. Say something like, "I see where you're coming from. Can you walk me through your reasoning?" This invites dialogue, not defensiveness, and opens the door to finding common ground. Disagreements don't have to escalate. One way to keep things calm is to resist the urge to say, "You're wrong." Those words are like a spark in dry grass. They ignite tension instantly. People don't respond well to being told their beliefs are flawed. It feels like an attack on their intelligence. Instead, approach with humility. For example, if a friend insists on a risky investment, don't lecture them. Try, "I might be missing something here. Can we look at the pros and cons together?" This shifts the focus to facts, not egos, and keeps the conversation collaborative. Your tone and body language matter too. Stay open, not confrontational. Admitting when you're wrong is another powerful tool. It's human to want to hide mistakes, but owning them disarms critics and builds trust. Let's say you gave a team member the wrong deadline and they missed it. Instead of deflecting, say, "My apologies, I messed up on that date. Let's sort it out together." This not only diffuses tension, but also shows you're human, making others more likely to forgive and cooperate. People respect someone who can say, "I got it wrong," because it's rare and honest. Plus, it sets a precedent. If you admit mistakes, others feel safer doing the same. Starting conversations on a friendly note sets the stage for persuasion. Imagine you need to ask a busy colleague to take on an extra task. If you dive in with demands, they'll bristle. Instead, begin with warmth. "Hey, I've really appreciated how you've been handling things lately. I've got something I'd love your input on." This softens their defenses and makes them more open to your request. Friendliness isn't just polite, it's strategic. It signals you're on the same team, not adversaries, and people are more likely to say yes when they feel connected to you. Getting someone to agree early in a conversation builds momentum. Think of it like rolling a snowball downhill. Small agreements pile up into bigger ones. If you're pitching an idea to your boss, start with questions they'll nod to. For instance, "Do we agree that improving efficiency is a priority?" Then, "Is it fair to say we need a fresh approach?" These yes moments create a flow, making them more receptive when you present your plan. This tactic, inspired by ancient philosophers, works because it aligns their mindset with yours before tackling tougher points. Letting others talk is a cornerstone of influence. People love sharing their thoughts, and the more they do, the more invested they become in the conversation. If you're trying to convince a neighbor to join a community project, ask for their ideas first. "What do you think could make our block better?" Listen patiently, even if they ramble. They'll feel heard, which makes them more open to your suggestions. Plus, their input might spark ideas you hadn't considered. The less you dominate, the more persuasive you become. A subtle but effective strategy is letting others take credit for ideas. People are more committed to plans they feel ownership over. Suppose you want your team to adopt a new workflow. Instead of presenting it as your brainchild, say, "I was thinking about what you mentioned last week, and it got me wondering, could we try this approach?" Even if the idea is mostly yours, framing it as theirs boosts their enthusiasm. It's not about giving up recognition, it's about getting results. When people feel proud of an idea, they'll champion it without you pushing. Seeing things from the other person's perspective is critical. Everyone believes their view makes sense, so dismissing it outright shuts down progress. If a sibling disagrees about holiday plans, don't insist on your way. Ask, "What's important to you about doing it this way?" Understanding their priorities, maybe they want less stress or more family time, lets you propose a solution that fits both your needs. This empathy shows you value their feelings, which makes them more willing to compromise. Sympathy goes hand in hand with perspective. People crave understanding, especially when they're upset. If a friend is frustrated about a work issue, don't rush to solve it. Say, "I can see why you'd feel that way. That sounds tough." This validation calms them and builds rapport. They're not looking for a fix right away. They want to feel seen. Once they're calmer, they'll be more open to your advice or suggestions. Sympathy isn't weakness. It's a bridge to influence. Appealing to someone's better instincts can also sway them. Most people want to see themselves as fair and kind. If you're negotiating with a vendor, don't just focus on price. Say, "I know you value long-term partnerships. Can we find a deal that works for both of us?" This taps into their desire to be reasonable, making them more likely to meet you halfway. Framing your request as a chance to show their best qualities elevates the conversation beyond a transaction. Dramatizing your ideas makes them stick. Dry facts rarely persuade. People respond to emotion and vividness. If you're rallying friends for a charity event, don't just list details. Share a story about someone the event helped, or show a photo that captures its impact. This pulls them in emotionally, making them eager to join. Even in professional settings, a well-placed analogy or example can make your point unforgettable. The goal is to make your idea feel alive, not just logical. Finally, a challenge can ignite action. People thrive on proving themselves, especially when the stakes feel personal. If a team is slacking, don't nag. Try, "I bet we can finish this faster than our last project. What do you think?" This sparks their competitive spirit without feeling like pressure. It's not about manipulation, it's about tapping into their drive to excel. A challenge framed positively can turn apathy into enthusiasm. These persuasion tactics work because they respect the other person's autonomy. You're not forcing agreement. You're creating conditions where they want to align with you. It takes patience and practice, but the payoff is worth it. Stronger relationships, less conflict, and influence that feels natural. As we move to the next part, we'll explore how to lead others effectively, inspiring change without stepping on toes. For now, try this. Next time you disagree with someone, pause and ask for their perspective first. See how it shifts the conversation. Chapter 4. Leading with respect. Leadership isn't about barking orders or demanding perfection, it's about inspiring others to grow and contribute their best. Whether you're guiding a team at work, mentoring a friend, or parenting, effective leadership hinges on respect and understanding. The goal is to change behaviors or perspectives without causing resentment, fostering loyalty and cooperation instead. In this final part, we'll explore how to lead in a way that uplifts others, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. These principles are practical, grounded in empathy, and designed to make everyone involved feel valued. Start with praise. It's the foundation of constructive leadership. People are more open to feedback when they feel appreciated first. Imagine you're coaching an employee who's struggling with time management. Instead of diving into their tardiness, begin with something positive. "I've noticed how creative your ideas are in our meetings. They really spark great discussions." This builds trust and softens the ground for what comes next. When you do address the issue, they're more likely to listen because they know you see their strengths. Praise doesn't have to be extravagant, just specific and sincere. When it's time to point out mistakes, do it indirectly. Direct criticism can feel like a slap, shutting people down. Let's say a team member turned in a sloppy report. Instead of saying, "This is careless," try, "Your reports are usually so thorough. I wonder if we could polish this one a bit more to match that standard." This approach highlights their potential rather than their failure, encouraging improvement without wounding their pride. It's a subtle shift in language that makes a big difference in how your message lands. Sharing your own flaws can also pave the way for change. People relate to leaders who admit they're not perfect. Before giving advice, reflect on a time you faced a similar struggle. For example, if a coworker keeps missing deadlines, you might say, "I used to juggle too many tasks and drop the ball sometimes. What helped me was prioritizing one thing at a time. Maybe that could work for you." This levels the playing field, showing you're not judging from a pedestal. It creates a safe space for them to accept your guidance without feeling inferior. Framing requests as suggestions rather than commands fosters collaboration. Nobody likes being told what to do. It triggers resistance, even if the task makes sense. Instead of saying, "Fix this section of the project," try, "Do you think tweaking this part could make it even stronger?" This invites input and makes them feel like a partner, not a subordinate. It's especially effective with creative or independent types who value autonomy. Suggestions spark curiosity and ownership, leading to better results than orders ever could. Preserving someone's dignity is crucial, especially when they've messed up. Publicly calling out a mistake, like scolding a child in front of their friends or reprimanding an employee during a meeting, breeds shame and resentment. Instead, address issues privately. If a teammate botched a presentation, pull them aside later and say, "I know you put a lot into that. Let's go over a few spots to make the next one shine." This shows you're on their side, helping them improve without an audience to amplify their embarrassment. Saving face builds loyalty, not grudges. Celebrating progress, no matter how small, is a game changer. People thrive when their efforts are noticed. If a shy student speaks up in class for the first time, don't wait for a perfect speech. Say, "That was a great point you made today. Keep sharing." This reinforces their confidence and motivates them to try again. In a workplace, acknowledging incremental improvements, like a salesperson making one extra call, can snowball into bigger gains. It's like training a pet. Reward the steps toward the goal, and they'll keep moving forward. Giving someone a positive reputation to uphold taps into their desire to be seen as capable. If you want a friend to be more reliable, don't nag about their flakiness. Instead, say, "I always know I can count on you when it matters." This plants a seed. They'll want to live up to that trust. At work, telling a new hire, "You've got a knack for connecting with clients," can inspire them to lean into that strength. People strive to match the expectations you set, especially when those expectations feel attainable and flattering. Encouragement is your fuel for change. When someone struggles, don't dwell on their shortcomings. Highlight their potential and make the fix seem doable. If a colleague is nervous about public speaking, don't say, "You need to get better at this. Try. You've got great ideas. I bet with a little practice, you'll be commanding the room." This boosts their confidence and frames the challenge as manageable. It's not about sugarcoating. It's about showing faith in their ability to grow. Belief from others can ignite belief in themselves. Finally, make people happy to do what you suggest. Leadership isn't about forcing compliance. It's about aligning your goals with their desires. Let's say you need a volunteer for an unglamorous task, like organizing files. Instead of assigning it, say, "This could be a chance to streamline things and make everyone's job easier. Any ideas on how we could tackle it?" This gives them ownership and a sense of purpose. Or if a child resists homework, frame it as, "Once this is done, we'll have time for that game you love." When people see the benefit to themselves, they're eager to act. These principles work because they treat people as partners, not pawns. Leadership rooted in respect creates environments where everyone thrives. Teams become more cohesive, families grow closer, and friendships deepen. It's not about having all the answers, it's about bringing out the best in others. You don't need a title to lead. Every interaction is a chance to guide with kindness and clarity. As we wrap up, reflect on this. Leadership is a choice to uplift rather than control. Try one of these ideas today. Maybe start a tough conversation with praise or encourage someone's smallest step forward. Notice how it changes the dynamic. Over time, these habits will make you the kind of leader people don't just follow, but genuinely admire. This concludes our journey through building connections, persuading thoughtfully, and leading with respect. If you found these ideas helpful, think about someone in your life you'd like to connect with more deeply. Start small. Listen a little longer, smile a bit warmer, or offer a kind word. The results will surprise you.